What's going on, guys? It's Lark here. Today I wanted to talk about Bitcoin in Africa. So it's a big continent, it's got a lot of people, and a lot of people who haven't heard about Bitcoin, so there's an opportunity there. I'm going to go through the news from the past few weeks about what's been going on with Bitcoin in Africa. And of course, we're going to be looking at, if you're not involved in Bitcoin already, how you can get your hands on some. So quick shout out, as always, to everyone who has been hitting that like button and subscribing to the video, guys. Really love all that support, so thank you so much. And of course, this is not official financial advice. This is just, a dude talking about his cryptocurrency passion. So let's get into it. Bitcoin today, $4,386, continuing its, rise towards 5,000, which, we're probably going to get there fairly soon. That is not the all-time high, but it's getting pretty close to being back there. So some of the news roundup from around the continent. In Zimbabwe, a startup is trying to empower unbanked Africans. So what are they trying to do? They are trying to get mobile solutions to Africans in order to let them use cryptocurrencies in their day-to-day lives. So this here is staggering. 70% of the adult population have no access to traditional banking services, but 95% have cell phones. And of course, as you know, if you got a cell phone, you can use cryptocurrencies. Well, maybe not in the old Nokias, but definitely if you have a smartphone, you can use cryptocurrencies. And so that is really, really big, guys. There's so much opportunity in places like Africa or in places like India where people might not be using traditional banking services, but they do have access to technology and they are using that technology. So that's pretty exciting. I like that news. This is a little bit old news, but I thought I'd just bring it up again. Egypt has got its own Bitcoin exchange going. So again, more mainstream adoption spreading around the world. More countries are getting on board every day. So Bitcoin exchange launches in Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and Botswana to follow us, the Malaysian company, and they have they've been really pushing into the African market. So very smart decision by that Malaysian company, because the African market is massively underserviced, especially when we talk outside of South Africa. South Africa, we're going to talk about in a minute here, but they are the biggest Bitcoin market in Africa. Outside of South Africa, the situation is very varied with, some countries have exchanges and some countries have different legal statuses. And so people pushing into the market is going to change things very quickly in Africa for the Bitcoin market. So that's pretty exciting. South Africa tops Bitcoin Google searches worldwide in adoption spike. The South Africans are buying up Bitcoin, and they're buying it at crazy prices too. This is the one thing that stood out to me in all this. They are paying up to 35% more for Bitcoin in South Africa. Outstanding. Outstanding. The rand, the South African rand, is falling. It has been falling for a long time. Their own currency is worth nothing. Have we seen this story before, guys? I think we have. In fact, we keep seeing this story. We saw it in Ukraine, right? I covered that story a few weeks ago. We've seen it in Venezuela, right? I talked about that very recently as well. Domestic currencies, fiat currency, is the way of the past. This paper money run by a central government run by a bunch of corrupt idiots, it doesn't have the power that digital currency has and is going to have. The fact that you're watching this video today means you're already ahead of the curve. Something like only about 1% of the world has even heard of cryptocurrencies, and only about 0.2, maybe 0.3% of the world is actually using cryptocurrencies. Now that I get those numbers from a report from back in June. I use this one here. Report from back in June. Why is this rubbish? A report from back in June, but that those numbers I'm sure have gone up quite a bit by now, considering how exciting the summer has been for Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies in general. But the stuff that you and I might see is every day, and we're talking about Lisk, and we're talking about Stratus, and we're debating, whether PivX is going to be the next big thing. Man, most people haven't even heard of Bitcoin. Seriously. Let alone all this other stuff. Like, we're so ahead of the curve by actually getting involved now, getting involved in these projects, investing in these projects, and holding on to your Bitcoin. Because imagine what the price of Bitcoin is going to be when 10% of the world knows about it and starts using it, when 20% of the world starts knowing about it and using it. it's just gonna explode, guys. It's absolutely gonna explode. The price predictions, of course, as we've talked about many times, range from 100,000 to millions of dollars per Bitcoin within 10 years. That is an amazing number. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that people are willing to pay more than 35% markup on their Bitcoin, because they know, yeah, okay, I'll pay 35% more today, but if I hold on to that Bitcoin for 5 years, I'll be able to do whatever I want. That 35% won't have meant anything. That's pretty impressive. I like that. Okay. Yeah, that's about the Rand. Okay. One other thing that I did want to mention before we move on to how to buy some Bitcoin is actually the amazing technology behind Bitcoin, and that's the blockchain, of course. Now, the problem I'm about to talk about isn't solved by Bitcoin, but it is solved by different blockchain-based technologies, particularly things like Ethereum actually help to solve these problems, and that is corruption. Why is the Rand so messed up? Why are so many currencies failing? Because the governments that control those currencies, the politicians that control those currencies are inept, they're terribly corrupt, and because of that, there are no solid economic policies driving these countries sometimes. And as a result, the currencies start to struggle, they start to fail, they start to fall to pieces. Real problem, guys. And so, if blockchain technology gets deployed in places like Africa, but it's not just an African problem, a lot of countries can benefit from this. There's so much corruption in the world, it's staggering. Brazil could benefit from this, the United States could benefit from this, Russia could benefit from this. A lot of countries could really benefit from the blockchain technology and the execution of things like smart contracts. You want to go and get a government service? Great, everything's official, it's on the blockchain. Right? There's no room to pay a bribe in that situation. If things aren't executed in time, the blockchain, there will be the smart contract will alert you to that. So the power of this technology to revolutionize the world, very powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff, because the main hindrance to development in a lot of these countries is the freaking corruption, guys. Hard to have a good country when you can't get anything done from a bureaucrat unless you pay the money, or when they steal all the money for the road projects and so on and so forth. And this all happens behind closed doors. The blockchain will bring this out into the open, guys. So it's very exciting stuff. That's a bit of an aside note, but I did want to mention that as well. So if you're not involved in Bitcoin yet, how are you going to get your Bitcoin? Well, there's two ways to get it. You can buy it or you can mine it. Both are good options. Right now, my personal opinion, Bitcoin mining is more profitable than simply buying it. Now, I've done a few different videos on the numbers and the difficulty and stuff. You can go check those out. I'll link to one of those at the end of this video. But basically, if you buy Bitcoin mining contracts, Hashflare currently is the only company offering it. There will be Genesis Mining will bring their Bitcoin mining contracts back soon, but they're currently sold out. Hashing24 is also currently sold out. Hashflare is the way to go if you want to get involved in Bitcoin mining right now. Now, for your 1 terahash, you'll get about 0.1 Bitcoin potential power, but your actual payout over the year will be something like between 0.5 and 0.6 or 0.05 and 0.06 Bitcoin, which for $120 is absolutely awesome. And of course, that goes for 2 years to 3 years, depending on the profitability of mining that Bitcoin. So the returns do diminish a bit over time, but man, it's such a great deal right now. Super profitable to buy that. But if you're worried about Bitcoin mining and you think, I don't know, I'm not really sure about it, let's just go buy some Bitcoin, guys. Buy it, hold on to it. That's all you got to do. It's really easy. You can hit over here to Coinmama. This is basically like an online ATM. Makes it super easy to buy. You can buy with a credit card. It's one of the few places online you just come and buy with a credit card, which is really nice if you want to do that. Or you can just go hit an exchange. Guys, there's a lot of local solutions for exchanges. I recommend cex.io because it's one that I can use here in New Zealand. It doesn't cause any problems for me. It's really easy, and I actually get paid in rubles. So, it's very useful for me to be able to put that on there and just, go buy my favorite coins, which is really great. Now, there's also so many local solutions to this, and that's something I always say, guys. If you're in the States, go use Coinbase. If you're in Australia, use Australia BTC. I guess if you're over in Egypt, use your local Bitcoin exchange there, because that lets you exchange your own money for that. for Bitcoin. So, over here on CX, you can use dollars, euros, pounds, or rubles, but there are other sites which are more country specific, and you should try to find your own local solution. But if you're having any trouble, you can always come over here and use CX. They're one of the most international companies for buying Bitcoin. Anyway, guys, no matter what you're doing, get involved and get Bitcoin before it's too late, because mass adoption is underway. When 10% of the population knows about it and 5% of the population is using it, you better bet that the price for Bitcoin is going to be absolutely through the roof. And you're going to look back and go, why didn't I get involved in Bitcoin? It's never too late, guys. It's not too late now. Now is the time for sure. Anyway, guys, that is all from the Crypto Lark. Long live the blockchain. Let the blockchain kill corruption. And peace out. Till next time.